Okay guys, I can now apologize profusely because I got so what I was doing here. I did not realize that my camera had went dead and I lost my audio. So there's a section of this build that I just don't have. What I've got is this is my truss rod cover that I built. This will go across the headstock, and I've got it over there. I'm doing some final touches to it. It's drying, and then we'll fit this in there and get it all squared away. But right now what I'm doing is I'm going to eventually take this and plane this down a little bit on my belt sander over there so we get a little better fit. I put binding on this. This has abalone binding. Now I'm scalloping and shaping the edges down this so that it has a contour to it, almost like a skeleton. But you'll see when I'm finished. This is going to look cool, I think. If not, then you can say I told you so. But I think this is a pretty cool idea. In my head, it looks great and works great. So I'll get you in here. This is going to be boring. This is just filing. I'm using a half round, or whatever you want to call a radiused file. I'm also using a round file and to get in some of the tighter spots and get it started. And then I come back and clean it up with this radius file. But for the most part, I'm able to do that with this radius file here, and it's giving me the result that I'm looking for. I could take this over to the oscillating spindle sander and do it, but boy, you can tear away some material quick and screw up what you're going for, or at least what I'm going for here. So I don't want to do that. I want to do this by hand. That was the whole point to this, was, you know, I could run over and do it on big saws and all this garbage, but I ultimately want this. I want to show what I can do with just minimal tools and a little imagination. We're eventually going to get to where this is a peak and this is a valley right here. This will be radiused over. The other reason you don't want to use a belt sander or an oscillating spindle sander on this is glued. You put a bunch of heat in there and that glue is liable to come undone. No, we don't have the body on there yet. I know some of the people have been asking, well, what's your body going to look like? You will just have to keep tuning in to see, but I assure you, if this is the truss rod cover, you're going to want to see the body, because we have a whole bunch of this going to be going into that body. put this on a shaper. Hell, you could get a CNC machine and do it in a CNC machine in probably a fraction of the time, but I don't know, man. It's kind of like rock and roll to me. If there's no personal touch to it, it really has no heart and soul. And I just think that some things are cool to be able to do digitally, but some things you just need to put a personal touch to. And this is one of them. I mean, whoever this guitar is going to is hopefully going to put their heart and soul into the music that they create with it. So why shouldn't I start this thing out the right way and give it some heart and soul from the very beginning? This thing will tell a story. It may not be able to speak like you and I, but when it gets into the right hands, hopefully this thing tells its story through their music. And that's ultimately what I want. I want all my guitars to be used where somebody can tell a story with it. Look at that. Isn't that going to be gorgeous? Dude, I'm so glad I decided to do the work on this and do it the right way. This is going to look fantastic. Twisting up. I had the privilege of having breakfast with my brother-in-law this morning, and Randy is truly an amazing individual, and I've been letting him see this guitar. He's one of the few that's seen the plans, knows kind of the direction, and has been watching. And he put that neck that I built for this thing in his hands the other day, and he was like, "Yeah, I like that, man. That feels good. I don't have long fingers. I'm not the prototypical shredding guitar player, but that feels really good to me." And as a guitar builder, that's what you want to hear from your customers and stuff. I mean, not that Randy's the buyer of this guitar, but I don't know, he could be. I don't even know if he knows this thing's being raffled off. But Randy's just an awesome individual, and I really enjoy our conversations that we have. My wife is truly blessed with a great brother. She's got two great brothers, and Rick is an awesome individual too. He was a hell of an athlete from what I hear when he was younger. I didn't know him then, but I hear he was one hell of an athlete, and he's been having some issues, and we thought we were going to lose him, but just like when he was younger, he fought back, and hell, he's doing great now. He's still got a ways to go, I think, but yeah, he's doing fantastic, and I'm glad to see it, and I can't wait to do our Thanksgiving dinner this year. I always look forward to Thanksgiving and Christmas, where I get to see all the families and talk to everybody. I don't do a whole lot of talking when I'm around family, because it's a good opportunity to learn from others. Especially her dad. Her dad is 88 years old, and boy, he don't say a whole lot, but I guarantee you when he opens up his mouth, my ears prick up, because he's got something worth saying when he does say something. And she is blessed once again with a great family, and I talk about my family a lot. They don't hear it. I don't blow their eardrums off because I don't want their egos to get too big. But we do. We've got some great family. I got two awesome brothers. Both of them younger than me. I'm the eldest. And My younger brother, the middle brother, Jeremy, he is, boy, I tell you what, he has just impressed me throughout his work career. He's a hard worker. He's a go-getter. He is very well respected in his industry. He got in at a young age right out of college and forged himself a career with this company. And I won't say who, because I don't know what his privacy policies are, because he's, like I said, he's been with them a long time and he's pretty far up. And what they do has to do with banks and stuff like that. So I won't say a whole lot, because I wouldn't want to get him in trouble or cause anybody any distress. But yeah, they are amazing. And my younger brother Joe, I don't let him know it, he's a pretty sharp fella. As not tooting my own horn, but as with all of us kids, we got it. My parents are pretty smart people. My dad has passed, and haven't had him around for 10-12 years now, and he would have been right here at my side with this. This would have been right up my dad's alley. He's the whole reason that I even started playing guitar was because of my dad. He was a musician, and I remember watching, as a young boy, watching him play and sing and stuff, and just become natural to me that I wanted to do that too. So I followed in his footsteps. And as he said to me one time before he passed, he'd come to a concert where I just played for, like, I don't know, 10,000-15,000 people. It was crazy. And he walked up, and my dad was not one to really give out the I love yous and the attaboys very regularly, but on that specific day, I had just played one of the largest shows of my music career, and I had a very successful music store here locally. I mean, we were selling guitars all over the world, and that's where really I just started to get into making guitars. I was selling a lot of BC Rich and Jackson and Guild and Lord of Mercy Spectre and Schecters. And we had like 400 and some different guitars hanging on our walls for sale there at any one point in time. And I was the owner and also the luthier, if you will. Somebody bring the guitar in that didn't work, and I'd fix him up, get him going again. And I developed a pretty good rapport with all the kids here in the area. They all knew me. I mean, I couldn't go to Walmart or local Kroger's grocery store without running into several parents thanking me for helping their kid and for being a good role model to them. And they looked up to me and how they really talked fondly of me. And so that particular day, after I had played this big performance, my dad walked up to me and he said, "I'm going to tell you something." He said, "I would have never figured any of my sons would have ever done anything on that scale." And he said, "It gave me such happiness to see you take something that I started years ago and run with it and build it to the level that you did." He said, I can tell you now," he said, "I am extremely proud of you and what you've accomplished, and you keep doing what you do." And little did I know at that time that he was battling several ailments, and he was kind of a private guy, but that was, now looking back, one of my most fond memories of my dad. And I truly cherish that moment, and glad that I did what I did. and put all the effort into the music store and into my music career, so to speak, with the band. And it all had a purpose and a reason, and I guess I ended up figuring it out, what it was for. Did talk to Todd down at Sweet Tea Guitars, and that guy is a wealth of information. Boy, I tell you what, go down and you get done watching this video, look up Todd at Sweet Tea Guitars and do him a solid by hitting like. That guy is a good dude. Just had a grandson a few weeks ago, and I felt obligation to tell him congratulations on his new sidekick, because I know every grandpa cherishes them little fellas, and sounds like Todd's going to have himself a new sidekick. Maybe you can teach him how to build some guitars and they can do that together. That'd be awesome to see. I mean, granted, he's just an infant, but Todd's got some time to work him into the idea. Yeah, we'll get it focused. So you can see there's a ridge right there, and there's a ridge off each side, scout there, and there's a little ridge right here in the middle. And we're just going to kind of keep that theme right down the middle of that thing, because those strings are going to come off and go to the tuning keys, so they don't really hit anything, as long as these are low enough. And we'll check that before we get into too much further. Okay, I like the looks of that a lot. I'm gonna have to hook me up a fan. It is almost 90 degrees here today. Back out there a little bit. Let's get our round over file, and we can use the aggressive side here. All right, guys, not a whole lot of commentary here. Trying to knock this thing out so we can make progress on some other stuff. Look at that, guys. This is your truss rod cover. Does that not kind of look like a backbone? Well, it should, because this is the whole theme of the guitar. This translates right into the frets. The frets are going to act and look like a backbone as well. And got them to where they are looking good. All right. Now we should be able to get a good clamp on this thing and knock this one out pretty quick. Long and slow process, yes, long and slow process. This thing to have a really nice look to it, shape and feel. I want it to, we're going for perfection, but I don't know that you ever truly do achieve perfection, because there's always that one thing that you say, I could have done that better, or I wish I would have done this instead of that. There is your inlay for your headstock. That one will come off and go there. That one should have enough clearance. We might have to take these down just a notch, but that's okay. We can sand and knock those down if we need to. But I think we're going to be okay. All right. Let's take a break and we'll come back.